Hello, everybody.
Hello,
Welcome
Harry.
to, well, thank you, Dan. Other people take notes. Look at that. That's how you do it right. That's an inside
Did we do
joke
it
right
right?
there. You don't identify. Anyway, you guys missed some green room beef happening about Greenville.
Greenville.
Greenville, South Carolina. It's a great city. One of our colleagues moved there.
Dan loves Greenville.
Gave up. I think she gave up the beach life to move there.
The the what?
Beach life. She lived down on the beach down in
She
Florida.
was in Florida, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
they have a little river that runs through downtown Greenville, which is
basically
just
the
the
same
same. It's a
thing.
waterfall. You can get your chair, set your chair there, put your feet in the water. It's pretty nice.
I'll have to let her know.
Greenville Drive got a minor league baseball game, but baseball team.
As people are coming in, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you to let us know where you're coming in from. Anyone from Greenville?
No,
Let's get
definitely
an
let us know.
authority. We've got Nashville and Atlanta arguing about Greenville. Maybe we have Asheville.
Another
I like
good,
Asheville.
That's good.
Nashville's
another good
great.
city.
I had an uncle that lived in that. Well, he still
Windy.
does. He worked
Oh
for
wow,
Kimberly Clark.
the Carolinas are covered. Asheville
Mooresville.
Toast,
Yeah.
another
Like
minor league team.
Mooresville.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. This is Office Hours 15. That's 15 months if you're keeping track. And yes, I'm sure you already know this, but March is the month of my birthday. So monetary donations are always accepted. I don't need any gifts. I have too many.
How about a happy
I'm
birthday?
forgoing gifts. I want money. I need money because my kids play travel sports.
I forgot, Harry, that your
Um,
birthday was in March. My birthday was last Saturday, also March.
oh, I knew
Obviously.
that actually. I should have said happy birthday. But
Yeah.
now I'll do it
Ouch.
publicly so everyone knows. So cool. Thank you for joining us. People still filtering in. There's still good seats left, so get yourself down to the arena
Hawaii.
if you'd like. I am Harry Kerbo. I'm the Senior Director of Paid Social at CINC. I am joined, as always, by my counterpart, James Terry, on the search side. That's
Good morning,
Google and
everybody.
Bing primarily. And the most handsome man on the internet, Dan Lott.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, review season is over, but it's always good to prepare for next year. I'm putting nuts in the tree for next year.
I thought you were about to intro me. I thought that was going to be mine.
No,
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 sorry,
no.
sorry.
There's only one man that's handsomer than Dan Lott, and that's Alvaro Arize. So
He's not
that's
giving
my
fair use
pecking
to that.
order. Well, first off, before we intro our guest, who, by the way, is the founder of CINC. Like, if you guys have questions, this is the guy to ask. But do want to check in with James and Dan. You guys got anything on your mind before we get going on questions and intro and Lance?
Well, I just want to say I'm going to read my description of what sync is.
Oh, that's right. What is sync, Dan?
What is sync?
What are
We
we-
have the hats. James and I both have the shirts.
Yeah. What
is
are we doing
Sync?
here?
Sync is the #1 all-in-one real estate lead generation and conversion CRM platform for teams and top agents, and solo agents too. Top agents. Well, I guess top agents would be a solo agent.
It's
there you
also a
go.
lifestyle clothing brand.
Yeah, with hats, shirts.
Hats, yeah.
We do.
I
We
have
have
a-
an online store now. If I
Oh,
don't know how to
yeah.
access it, but
Yeah,
we
we
do.
got a mug down there.
Wow.
If things go well, I'll show you guys my sync underwear later.
If they go well.
Lance, things will not go that well. Don't you worry.
All right. Well, I would
Did I get
let's go ahead. Let's have you intro the guest.
Absolutely. I do love this. This is I wanted to hear from Dan. I wanted to hear what he's got on his mind, but I've been excited to tell everybody about who we've got on this month. So, our guest this morning has been in real estate agent for 23 years. He's what I would consider a CINC guru who helps agents turn their database into consistent closings. He also happens to be one of our earliest clients and has been extremely influential to how CINC's system was developed. And although Harry stole a little bit of my thunder earlier, I do want to mention that Lance actually created CINC University, which has been hugely valuable to pretty much everybody who attends, both our clients, obviously, as well as our employees who are there. So, what does him being here today mean for everybody in attendance? He specializes in auditing and organizing client databases and has an eye for a bottleneck in processes. So by prescribing like daily action, he helps agents smooth out the lead life cycle. Lance can help you focus on simple, repeatable systems that drive lead conversations, follow-up, and pipeline management to generate predictable growth. Also, I have to throw this in for anybody who shares this interest and may have some fun questions. Lance is an avid off-road adventurer and a Jeep enthusiast. So Lance, welcome out, buddy. Let me know if I missed anything. You want to say hello to everybody real quick?
Hello, you nailed it. Honored to be here. I mean, 15 episodes it took me to get onto this thing with y'all. I'm excited.
You got to earn
We
it,
appreciate,
Lance.
yeah, we appreciate you being here.
Welcome, man.
We've got some CINC royalty on the pod. This is a podcast also, so be sure to what, Dan? Be sure to subscribe.
It's a live cast.
It's a live cast that turns into a podcast. This is the
And
webcast.
on that note, as this,
I was gonna say, I mean, I couldn't do what we do in real estate without y'all's expertise and providing those leads that you guys do that get us the money. So
we did it.
There
Flattery
you go.
will get
All
you
right.
it all
everywhere.
starts with you
We'll
guys.
only get some credit here.
We do see
On the note, real quick, Harry, of this being a live cast, I definitely want to like say real quick that the chat is a really important feature that everybody is here with us live. So we don't have a presentation or anything like that. We never share slides. We want this to
refuse
be
to prepare.
we don't even prepare. That's true.
Ask Lance.
We just wanted to be as conversational as possible, right? So if you're here, if you're with us live, if you're hanging out, Chester, hello, welcome from Chicago. Definitely be sure if you have a question based on anything that Lance is talking about, based on the conversation that's going on, throw it in the chat. Like we'll address as much as we can. We had some great questions that came in as people were signing up, so we do have plenty to talk about, but we definitely want to address what's on your mind in this moment as you're here listening to everybody. So keep that in mind, please.
And with that, it's time
Yeah.
for a little thing we like to call
Mail time.
Mail Time. Original audio by Harry Carbo, available for parties. I will start with the one question that I have never not gotten for a live cast or webinars when we used to do them back in the day. That's so 2000s. This is being recorded. It will be posted as a podcast. It will be on our social media. If you're not following, please do so at CINC Pro. We're in more places than you probably want to be. So yeah, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok. We're on Threads. We're one of the ones on Threads. If you too are one of the real ones navigating. Spotify, Apple Music. We are everywhere. So, and if you do follow us on social, hopefully you saw one of the more recent posts we're doing for deals that are coming through from CINC clients. We just had our first deal posted for Amy Pendergast, which I continually expect it to be Grast. I misspelled that multiple times and had to correct it. But yeah, Amy closed a lead from social in 93 days. So 93 days in the system, which that's the more remarkable thing. We do see social leads are generally further out because of the way that they're targeted, but the team listing ad type has been generating deals that close quickly. You know, a lot of them in under 100 days from what we're seeing in some of
And
our.
she's in Greenville.
She is in Greenville. That's what spurred the Greenville discussion. So, Amy, if you're here, congratulations. Thank you. We salute you. All right. Another question that we got a lot around training, but I really wanted to start with this one. It's more on the search side. So this question came from Debbie. She said, well, it's real. She said, why don't I see my ads when I search for them on Google for my site? And, you know, I know that's a loaded question. There's a lot around that. So what would you guys say to someone who's searching for their own ads, you know, on Google, and what can that do to their ad spend?
I'll take this one. Harry.
I
Hold
was
me
ready.
back. All right.
Yeah.
So a lot of it has to do with the amount of advertisers there are, and the fact that you're one of 1,000. You're like in your area, there are 1,000 different advertisers. There's something called we used to look at this number a lot more, but there's something called the search impression score, which shows what percent of all searches, relevant searches, your ad would show up. And even like a site that has $1,000 budget, you're only going to get like 5%, and of all the time, because so many people are advertising, and that's like a real budget. Most of the time, it's like the caret, the less than symbol, or it's like less than 1%, because if you're spending like $250, you're never going to see your ad, and that's one point. That's why you're not going to do it. Then the other point is you really shouldn't be. Well, actually, on the other why you can't. I have all I do is look around the internet for like I Google the phrase like homes for sale in Phoenix, homes for sale, and all these other ones, and like they've gotten wise to me. Like Google has like the ads don't really show up to me as much as other people because
I rarely see housing ads now. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you do it, you're actually being like multiple times, you may be blocked by Google from seeing at like real estate ads, and your ads. And then the final one is you should spend your time calling your leads and not searching for your ads, as I'm sure Lance would attest to, because it's kind of a waste of time. The proof that
Yeah.
your ads are showing is the fact that you're getting leads from them. So that's it.
100.
My take on that.
Yeah, 100%. Like the fact that leads show up, because I know, and I can appreciate this question as well, right? Like if somebody, let's say you buy a billboard on the side of the road and you drive down that road, you see your billboard, you know it's there, and you know that everybody on that road, all the other cars are seeing it, right? So this is a little less visible in the sense that we're showing the ad to people who are looking for it, but, and I like to put some numbers to this, right? Like think about what we call the reach of the ad, how many potential searches there are where we can show the ad on that search. It's literally hundreds of thousands, for large markets, millions. And if somebody has a bunch of ad groups and keywords, you know, we have thousands, tens of thousands of keywords in your campaign in most cases. So we have plenty of opportunity to put the ad out there and be seen. But in most cases, like Dan said, if somebody has $1,000 budget, we're only spending about $35 a day, right? So with so many opportunities, we can't get more than about 40 or 50 clicks, right? So we just don't have to show it every time it's eligible to show, if that makes sense. We might have a million opportunities to show the ad, but we can only show it like 300 times, you know? So just to put some numbers to it like that, that's why you don't see it whenever every time you search, is we're showing it a few hundred times out of a potential, you know, that it's being searched, a ton of opportunity. So I hope that makes sense as well. But 100% on what Dan said, you should be calling the leads more than searching the ads anyway, right? The fact that the leads are there is evidence that we showed it to somebody. Good question, though.
Is it like a negative in the eyes of Google or Bing if they show, like, even let's say you do see your ad and
So-
you don't click on it. Is that a negative in the eyes of the algorithm?
So definitely don't click on it, because these campaigns are they're called PPC campaigns. They're pay per click. So if you click on it, Google gets paid, and that's money out of your budget, right?
I think you mean paper clip.
Paper clips. Yeah,
Paper clips.
absolutely. So when you click on the ad, money changes hands, right? So don't do that. And in case anybody in 2026 is not aware yet, I'll go ahead and remove this curtain. Everything online is tracked, right? Google keeps up with all of it. So they do know the ad was shown and not clicked on. That's a ratio that they keep up with. And it can hurt. It's called the click through rate. How many times did someone see the ad? And so if we show it a lot and it doesn't get any clicks, it says that we wrote a bad ad, right? So it is a factor. I wouldn't say it's a huge impact. The click through rate overall is a big impact. But if we show it 10,000 times, but at the end of the day, it is a metric that is counted against you if you search your ad and you do see it without clicking on it. Yeah, that's a good point too, Harry.
I always figured that's why we stopped seeing the housing ads. I'm hard pressed to find, especially like Atlanta houses for sale. I hope I never move. Like, well, there's no houses on the internet. I guess I'm just.
Yeah, eventually Google will recognize you've been searching this and not clicking it, so we don't need to show it to you.
Yeah.
It was a famous study that in Arkansas, no Walmart employee could see like a Walmart ad anywhere because Walmart employees were like searching Walmart stuff all the time, and they stopped showing the ads to like everybody in Bentonville.
Ah, the famous Arkansas Walmart Google PPC study. I believe we're all familiar with that.
I think
No need to
we all
go
know
too
how
deep.
that ended.
It's
No need,
controversial.
we all,
It did
we all
not
know
end
how
well.
that worked out. I will remind you that
All right.
you are 32 minutes away from your chance to win Dan's money.
Boom.
So yeah, James will be figuring out who our guest star and opponent. Dan is fresh off a loss. We're really gonna see his heart today. We're gonna see what he's got. He's been a wild man at the office.
February
He's been a
was not
caged
good.
animal.
Yeah, it was bad.
My audio is really low, so I can just see I can kind of hear everybody, but I'm sorry if I'm talking over you. But I don't really care. This was my idea. So we did get let's talk about leads. Let's talk about leads, man. And follow up. So we got a lot of questions around engaging leads. But before we go there, this was an interesting one that I wanted to pose mostly to you, Lance, but you guys may have some thoughts too. We got a question from a client who's been with CINC for a while, but never really engaged with the database. So they said, I have 13,000 leads really in the database that I haven't been working with CINC. Like, Lance, where would you start with a database like that? And it's multiple years of leads. You know, what would you do? That was her question. Where do you start?
First thing would be probably, like just getting reorganized, get the leads back in the right pipeline stages. My guess is the majority of them will be in attempted contact. And then at that point, those that are actively logging in, reach out to them. You just call them. Those that have not logged in, that's where we kind of like to start sending out some like re-engagement type campaigns. Various emails. I like to break those down based on like median price point and city, and just hit little targeted groups every month. So, maybe like for me, for the month of March, we actually were targeting leads that haven't logged in the last, believe it or not, I've got leads that go back 15 years in my database. So Matt and I created a campaign that started targeting them for the last 14, 15 years, just trying to get re-engagement to come in. And while it doesn't sound like much, we've actually brought back probably 4 or 5 people right now that are actively looking back on the website again, just utilizing some of the AutoTrax campaigns.
And do you do that mostly with email? Do you do that with text, or kind of a combination? Or
I'm more one. I mean, there's always the phone calls that are going out that are like, "Hey, at one point in time, you were looking for homes," and then I like the email. Um, we try to limit the texting just because of like the way the telecom and everything ends up tying in with a lot of the automated texts that go out, as well as it's like super easy for them to unsubscribe from text, which I mean, we can still call them, but yeah, we'll sprinkle in a few of them. But I feel like texting, they don't really remember who we are or don't know who we are. So we've had better success with the phone call and then getting their emails back active again. The cool thing is if they've not been opening up our emails and they do, that fires off all their new any old campaigns or property alerts start going back out to them again. So
Michelle just asked your thoughts on Alex, the Sync AI.
I love Alex. It is I mean, I think with everybody there's that love-hate relationship with it, but when you understand Alex, Alex actually says the things that we're uncomfortable saying or afraid of saying. But I'm not always readily available by my phone, so or my agent. So Alex is that working around the clock for me of teeing them up. And again, I mean, what do they say? Like any publicity is good publicity, even if it's bad. So I look at even if it's a negative conversation with Alex, it's giving me an opportunity to jump in and have that call with them. It's just knowing when's that appropriate time to jump in and yeah, make sure that, whenever they do that handoff to you, you reach out to them within the first couple minutes. You're going to get the quickest response from them at that point.
And maybe this could that kind of goes into another question that we got. And we got several around this of having trying to engage leads, leads seem months out, things like that. Leads coming in at all hours of the night. Um, so I mean, do you have any, and maybe we have this, I'm just ignorant of it. Are there any kind of if a lead comes in the middle of the night, are you reaching out to them right away? What
Sleep,
is that?
middle of the night, I'm sleeping. Um, the to me, this is
Lance hasn't slept since 2003.
yeah.
He looks
Um,
great.
I mean, it's running a business, right? I mean, I'm not gonna, me personally, I'm not gonna reach out. We have our business hours, but we have dedicated prospecting hours every day. And so, we start at 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning, we're prospecting, 4:30 to 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, we're prospecting. Those are our times where we're going through and reaching those, we're trying to reach everybody via calls. If you are using AI will kick off in the morning, sending out some text messages that go. Tying back into that last question of the 13,000 leads, some of the re-engagement, the thing that I liked with those too is the behavioral messages. So whenever they do come back in, behavioral messages take over for us, which allows Alex. But no, yeah, anybody that comes in the middle of the night, we just, I mean, we pick up the call and call them the next morning.
Well, what do you consider the middle of the night, or what are acceptable hours?
What are your party hours, Lance? How late will you
I,
stay at my house if I invite you over?
I'm in bed at 8. No, I mean,
In Nashville.
we try to kind of treat it like a regular business. So I mean, that's why we have our prospecting hours from like 4:30 to 6 at night. Come about 6, 7 o'clock. If my agents don't respond, I always say like 8 o'clock is kind of like the cap for us. Um, but sometimes, I mean, we got agents that got little kids, so they're getting their kids to bed. So as long as I do what I'm doing every day, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night, those are kind of our business hours.
That's
But
really, and I've never thought. Go ahead, Dan. I'm
well, I
sorry.
was gonna then, of course, segue to the big sale from last year, which was the Charleston
Right.
sale, which I have to mention. At least I don't think I mentioned it last month, but that was a AI that was kicked off at like 8:30 at night. So if you want the opportunity, if you don't want your agents, sitting by the phone at 6 o'clock, your AI can be sitting by the phone. replying to a inquiry or something like that.
That's a great point, and that's what allows us to have that balanced life of doing some real estate, but still being able to enjoy the things that we enjoy to do outside of real estate.
And I
We did
think
get a
that with the
question. Oh, go ahead.
well, I was going to go to this question as well, and I
Yeah.
saw it in the Q&A section. I appreciate you putting it over here in the chat also. But that with contacting and follow up and reaching out to people and calling leads and everything does go well to this question about, and I think we got this a couple of months ago when Christine was on. So Lance, I am interested in your take on it. I assume it'll be similar to Christine's, as you guys are eye to eye on a lot of subjects. But when you call and there's these privacy filters that are getting more and more popular, and it asks for like, what's your name and what's the reason for the call? How do you handle that? Like, is there any software or technology that bypasses it, which is asked in this question? I don't think Christine got that. That I'm aware of, there's not. But is there anything that bypasses it? And if not, how do you leave that message?
I don't think that there's any software that allows us to bypass it. We've played around with a lot of different things, from like looking at their favorite city to, a specific address to try to like add that in. The best thing that I found is just Lance. Not this is Lance, just Lance. Whenever it asks who you're calling for and what you're calling, Lance.
I do remember Christine saying, "Don't say first and last name," for a nugget for this question. If you just, especially, oh, this is Mike. Well, they might know a Mike. Like they probably don't know you, but they might pick up if you just say the first name, that kind of thing. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Just keep it simple. Just your name, first name, and nothing else.
And at the end of the day, if it's a good lead and they were searching online and they were on your site and they want to buy a house, they're gonna they're gonna pick up. They're gonna want to talk to you.
I mean, I always say go back and look at your own shopping nature, right? When I'm about to go out and buy something, I don't immediately run out to a salesperson and start talking with them. I do my own research online ahead of time where I'm like, don't bother me. So as soon as I'm ready, though, that first person that calls me and has an engaging conversation with me, I'm ready. Let's go.
Has there been any impact on the percent of phone calls that get answered if they are face the filter? Is it causing people to not pick up the phone, or is it causing people to pick up the phone because they by default don't answer the phone, but now that they know that Lance is calling, I'm gonna talk to Lance?
I think that the ones that answer are more serious about making that next step into the transaction. And so if you do get that filter that comes up that says, who is this? Why are you calling? And you say Lance and they answer, you have a higher percentage of converting them into a client than just as you go. As far as the other ones, I mean, we haven't really tracked to see how many times we've gotten that message verse, but we do know that we do get a higher success rate of people actually connecting with us. And if they do connect with us, they know they're ready to talk real estate.
But it's also they're a person, like maybe it's just me, but most of the people who call me are robots and recorded messages. So I don't have a lot of friends, I guess. But so this at least ensures that it's a real human being that's on the thing. It's like I don't want to talk to, some phony, life insurance company or something like that. That's like this is a recorded message. This weeds out that. So it's I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing. So
I think with all of it, you have to keep in mind like the failure is going to be for this type of stuff. The failure is going to be so much. You're going to meet with more failure than success, and that's. I am a psychology major, and the recency effect is a thing. You have a bunch of bad calls. That's what you're going to think of it as. That's one of the things that I would think is hardest, just continuing, like going for the no.
It's interesting.
James would perk up there.
We had
I got the book right here.
Over the years of doing CINC University, inevitably every few classes there's somebody that comes in that has a dollar amount tied to every no, because they know for every no they get, they're one step closer to that yes. And it is. I mean, that's where when you start looking at how many shots that we have to take to get somebody. So that's what we're looking for. And the more people we talk to, then we can start being choosy on who we want to work with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Renju, I see your question about being labeled as spam. I do want to go just Lance, you talked a little bit about like the emails that you send to try and get people to get back on the site. Jagveer, I'm sorry, I'm sure I did not do that justice, but he asked, do we have any re-engagement templates in Sync that we can use for older and active leads, or even what are you sending out, to get
Well,
those people back?
so I'm fortunate. Those that have been to training, I've got Matt Feathers that handles all of our auto tracks. He's my operations manager, and he's a really good wordsmith. But we've actually utilized ChatGPT to create some of our re-engagement campaigns. Uh, don't use it word for word. Go in and look at it. Make sure it kind of matches the message that you're looking for. But yeah, what I found out on like my 14 to 15-year-old leads that haven't logged in, which I think I had a targeted group of about 400 on that list. We had a campaign that I was touching them every 3 days for the first month, or for the first 2 weeks. And then from there, I took it weekly for a month, and then it's back to monthly. So we're kind of hitting them a lot on the front end because they've been gone for so long to kind of like dangle it in front of them. And then if they don't, then we'll just kind of tear off of it. But yeah, we utilize ChatGPT on kind of building some of that. And it's pushing market reports, uh, safe searches, sending some of the property things to them, just asking questions like, hey, at some point you were looking. Did you end up buying? Are you happy?
So maybe this is a good time to ask the question. Oh, well, actually, I'm sorry. Renju, what do you say it? And this may be, oh, wait, I'm sorry. The most important question just came in. Margaret, you can find the recorded live casts on YouTube. Wherever you get your podcast, just search Sync
Spotify.
Office Hours. All
Sync
right.
office hours.
And I
Sorry, I
think
got
Matt
very excited.
Feathers,
Margaret is my new
Lance just
favorite
mentioned.
person. I'm a
Lance just mentioned
fan
Matt
of
Feathers.
Margaret Fantini.
Hey, Harry, I'm going to add your podcast so I can go back and watch from the very beginning all the way up to this whenever I get off of this.
Don't watch the first one.
Oh, I'm watching them all.
I think
The
the
first one
first
is, yeah. It was
guest we
designed to be a
had was
webinar.
Matt. I think Matt Feathers was the first guest we ever had, right?
No, it's just the three of us.
No. The first webcast was just the three of us, but the
Yeah.
first guest that we brought on was Matt. That Lance just mentioned.
Well, how about that?
Well, you guys can hear about all our reminiscences in the companion podcast that we'll put out later. It will be Sync Office ladies. All right. When I call from Sync, it shows as spam. I'm not sure if that would be something you could really help. I mean, I know you could call into the support team and there's some things that they can look at. I'm not sure what the options are there, but do you have any thoughts on that, Lance?
We hear it a lot. I mean, and that's definitely, I mean, that ties in with the telecom. I know we have our number registered, so we get a lot of Nashville Advantage that shows up. Um, I will say, and it again goes back to that personal shopping experience of whenever I want to sign up for a website to get information, and knowing most salespeople, like if I sign up looking for a widget and within the next 5 minutes I get a phone call from a spam, I'm more likely to answer it because I want information on it. Now I'm hesitantly answering it because I was like, all right, please be the salesperson, please be the salesperson, and not, some kind of a spam call. But, somebody that's actually looking for real estate, they're more likely to take that spam call. But if you get a lot of it, I've definitely reached out to support and just have them kind of put their eyes on it.
Yeah, there are some registration options, I know. So yeah, and that's support at cincpro.com. If you're seeing that kind of issue. So we got a question. Let's go back to some ad stuff. Got a question, really just around, so my team deals in the city only, but I'm getting leads from, surrounding areas. I guess what are the options for that? What should be expected? What should the client do?
Is this a question for me or us,
Sure.
the Google side?
You've got your hand on your chin.
I know, I was
It
thinking
deep in
about it,
thought.
holding my head up. Well, it's kind of unavoidable. The way ads are set up, it's based on a keyword basis. So, like, if somebody, let's see, where's this person? I always like to localize it.
I'm not sure. Let's say
If
they're in Atlanta.
they're in Atlanta. Okay, so if they are in, so if somebody wants to get leads in Marietta, which is a suburb, which is where CINC used to be headquartered, we would put in an ad group for like homes for sale in Marietta. So the person would click on that, but they're not like tied to only searching Marietta. They can search anywhere in the Atlanta area from from that site. So you'll get from that search, from that click, you'll get a lot of people who are on the Marietta page, but there'll also be people who say like, actually, I just realized Marietta is a dump. I want to go to Sandy Springs. Sandy Springs is the best. So
Whoa, Marietta catching strays. Jeez.
so then the person searches and says Sandy Springs, and then the lead is from Sandy Springs, and then if the client doesn't have a Sandy Springs ad group, they're like, well, how'd this happen? It's because they have changed the search. That's how it works, and you can use that. Sandy Springs is only 10 minutes away from Marietta, or you could use Agent Pronto, or what is it? What's our one of those things you could give the lead to somebody else who services the Sandy Springs area. So that's why it is. You're not locked in to just a specific area. Once you hit your site, you can go anywhere. You could go to a different state probably. I don't know, but probably not. But
I like.
Go ahead.
I like to remind people that at the end of the day, we're working with people, right? Like these clicks and these impressions, clicks, leads, like those are people on the other end of that, right? And so when they go to your site, they have access to the entire MLS, right? All we know is in this example, and Harry, if this was a Chester's question, he's in the Chicago area, and Chicago does have a lot like Atlanta, Midtown Atlanta specifically, a ton of little neighborhoods and stuff like that. So one solution, something we can do about that, is get a little more granular with what our search term is, right? Like if somebody's searching, to Dan's point, homes for sale in Marietta, then they have access to the entire MLS, and they might not have been so honed in on exactly where in Marietta they want to live. They might not have done a ton of research. Marietta is a fairly large, city. It's got a huge footprint.
Dump. Fairly large
it's a dump. I mean, when compared to Sandy Springs, it's all downhill, like Sandy Springs.
Yeah, I wonder who lives in Sandy Springs here.
Where the air is crisp, we understand.
The best of the best.
I heard everybody in Sandy Springs owns a cabin also.
Yes. The lucky ones.
But what we can do is target, like, rather than Marietta, we can use keyword terms like Loring Square, which is a neighborhood in Marietta. And if somebody knows Loring Square, if they're searching for that online, they know the price point of the homes in that neighborhood, right? They probably know where their kids are going to school. Cheatham Hill is right next to her, that kind of thing. Like, they've done a lot of their own homework, and they're a little more honed in and closer to a decision. Now, it's not going to get a lot of search volume, but it can supplement a campaign and focus on that as much as possible. And we can try and maximize the traffic going to the site for those more granular areas within the city of Marietta, if that's what they want to focus on. So there are strategies to try and get in there, but like Dan said, it's never going to be 100%. It's not a faucet. These are people on the other end.
And talk to your account manager and just say like, oh, I would really want more leads in this town, and then we can from that, we can then create ad groups of the submarkets within that town that will, you know, which will get you more leads in that town. But it's not 100%.
What's interesting about this, and I mean, what you guys do is like science in itself, but we have a town that we always generate leads for, and for a while there, I used to always say I want at least 25% of my leads to come out of that town. But we don't sell a lot in that town. That's just that search where a lot of people come in because they're like, "Ooh, I got to live here," and then they realize, "Oh, I can't afford to live here," and then we sell them in other areas. So it's kind of one of those like, okay, yeah, while we don't really work there, that funnel fills and gives us sales in other areas.
What town is that?
I bet it's Brentwood.
Sandy Springs.
Green Hills?
The Sandy
not gonna
Springs
say.
equivalent, that's for sure.
He's not gonna say. Man.
My ad manager
Do you know where that turn is? I think it's in Franklin, Tennessee, where it's like cement and a 90-degree turn and there's no mirror or anything. It's like the leap of faith from Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Terrifying. Cool.
Noted.
Well, and we did get some questions around increasing lead quality as well. And I think, James, kind of what you're talking about, of the, the hyper local micro targets, that really, one thing I think is, it's a different type of lead from a lead coming from like a Zillow or something like that, because those people are not forced to sign up. So, we could create a site where they aren't forced to sign up to generate those leads, but you're looking at the same lead costs as what Zillow does. The hyper local micro targets in this strategy of generating leads, I think, are the best way to increase lead quality, because, you're putting out searches for people who are searching for more specific things than just Atlanta. They're searching for a zip code or a school zone.
Yeah.
So is that the best way? If a client is looking to, we got questions around increasing lead flow. Nobody said decrease, but maybe they are. Who knows? Maybe they're tired of
We've
winning.
heard it. We have heard that before.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Dan said something very important a moment ago, and I want to make sure everybody heard this. That's right, Dan. Look off, stoic.
So
But he said something very important, and he was like, "If you want to get more leads from this area, like let us know. Like, make no mistake, on our side, we're working with ones and zeros, right? It's all about cost per lead and lead flow. And we have a list of markets that were generally provided when the campaign went live. But communication is paramount, like, right? Like, even like I said at the beginning of this live cast, like, we love the conversational aspect. Put some stuff in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking. Similarly, as you start getting leads and as you're working your dashboard and calling leads, feedback is important. It's necessary, right? To let us know, hey, we're getting a lot on this side, but the price point is really low in that. We don't know. I mean, we know the price points. If we look it up, we can find that. But if it's in the campaign, we're going to focus on what generates the most leads for the budget we have. If that needs to be honed in over time, letting us know, hey, this is the area, this is in my backyard. My office is in this town, so it's very easy to show listings there. Or traffic is at this hour is a super long drive. Can we focus on this side of town? And then we can hone in on those hyper local micro targets in the city that you want to maximize lead flow for, right? But that requires some back and forth and some conversation. So by all means, our team wants to communicate with you and wants to be able to hone this in as much as possible. It's not a one and done. Oh, at implementation, I gave 10 cities and that's it. It can be, and we'll use those 10 cities and build a great account. But we can hone that in over time to make it to maximize the value and the quality.
I was just gonna say, tying out. I mean, this goes back 2013, whenever we first started doing the ad spend and coming on with CINC. That was one of those that I did the research. I had spreadsheets laid out across the whole conference room table to say, all right, what target areas do we want to go after that have where I feel I could take market share? And then I expressed that with you guys, and I worked really close with my account manager there of, all right, this is where we want to kind of target, what percentage we want out of each one, and it's worked out great. But going back to like lead quality, not everybody that signs up is going to buy today. I think that's one of the big misconceptions is they think that it's today, and sometimes this is a long game process. We had one that closed back in November, 1.2-ish million, was in our database for 400 plus days. We've had another instance where they were 1,000 day old that kind of put us at those. So it's just a matter of categorizing them in the database and just that long-term nurture. I don't know. They'll come.
What do you do with the like the real verified, the check mark that shows that it's a real lead and it's double what's it called? Two-factor authenticated. Do you give those higher? Do you call them first, or do you
No,
care?
I mean, it still comes down into like a system wise. I mean, we have our P1, P2, P3 filters. We've generated some other ones too that are like last login 30 to 60, 60 to 90. We don't go out and say, ooh, that's got a black or blue check mark, but ooh, it's this. What was interesting, and I used to always say about 72 to 75% of my leads were good phone numbers. And that was before the real verified. So now that we have the real verified, all that did was like cement it in my head to say, yeah, I mean, like we are getting some good ones, but some of the unverified are still good phone numbers. So we just give them all, we call them all. We don't.
Debbie asked, how long does it take for the ad changes? So, I mean, you would have a call you can have a call with the marketing team or speak with the support team over email, and we'll reply back. Those changes will go into effect in 2 to 3 business days. Whenever you make a change to ads, there can be a time where it kind of slows down, where it's figuring back out who to show the ads to. But yeah, or depending on the time of the month, it might be the beginning of the next month. But yeah, we'll make those changes as soon as we get the request, and then the ads themselves will start running in those areas that, as soon as we make the changes, it may just be a small ramp up. We're
But
2
yes,
minutes
just going
away.
back to the real verified. I just always like to talk about this.
2
It's
minutes away
what
from Man's money.
Wednesday's money that's coming up. But so it just shows like if you like we always get the like, oh, are these real people, are these like, I don't know, like this person didn't pick up the phone, they're not a real person. If they have the blue check mark, there's that kind of proves they're a real person, because the person has to like manually type in this code and all this. It can't be somebody who's like, oh, I'm gonna just put in somebody else's phone number and like trick them out because I want to access the listings, but I don't want to give my same information. No, it's a person has to do it. So, and like what Lance said, it's like 70 to 75% are real verified, and then the people who don't do it are,
Losers.
they're not, well, they are not necessarily losers, but like if your phone is in your car and you're like searching on your computer for houses, you're not going to run to your car and get your phone to two-factor authenticate your thing. So, but it's still a might be an accurate phone number. You don't know. But the blue indicates that is 100% accurate. It's 75%. It's every time. But the other ones are also probably pretty good, but person doesn't want a two-factor because that's kind of a drag.
One of the things that we like to do with the ones that did not authenticate, so the ones that, because if you don't do the two-factor, you're locked out of seeing pictures.
Mhm.
So at some point in time of you being in our system after a couple days, if you haven't authenticated while we're kind of going through our prospecting, when we're done, I'll go in and unlock them. So I'll just leave them unverified unlocked because I still don't know if they're a real person. And then that's where we'll shoot them a text message and like an email that says, oh, hey, sorry, we noticed that you were locked in our system and not able to view photos, and maybe copy a quick link to their search and then send it over to them to say, hey, here's some stuff. It looks like you're currently looking in Nashville for 3 bed and 2 bath. If we need to make any changes, let us know. So they're kind of like a little call to action, but like, oh my God, we're so sorry. It looked like you were locked out of our system. We unlocked you. And I mean, Does it work all the time? Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, that's the whole idea of like that re-engagement and like making phone calls. But it's just an extra touch that we have that we can kind of throw out. So I kind of like having that. Like it's its own little separate list to try to get them verified or get them to respond to me.
It's really smart. Um, Dang it, I keep having something I
And
was gonna say and then I keep forgetting because then I start reading. We'll go to Eddie's question. Right mix for local area lead versus out of town. Out of town, maybe longer timeline. Yeah, that's what we generally see. I mean, usually, I don't know if it's different now. Because I mean, we had people buying like condos through Zoom during COVID. I don't know if that's
I I mean, I don't know if it's just my market, but I feel like my out of towners are more to make a purchase quicker than the local ones because it comes
yeah.
down to do you need a home or do you want a home? And more of the local buyers want a bigger home, a smaller home. Where if I'm relocating into Sandy Springs, because I'm not going to Marietta,
The dump.
it is right. If I'm relocating there, I'm gonna need a home really quick. So I feel like some
And
of
they don't have an agent either.
yeah,
If you're from
true.
out of town, you never have an agent.
yeah.
Well, it
And we
also depends. We've analyzed like like market by market, what percent of traffic comes from within the market versus externally. And I would expect that Nashville gets a larger percent of traffic from outside of the area, just because Nashville is such a.
Yeah.
I used to live in Nashville, so
because
it's
it's
growing like
cool.
crazy. People are coming from all over the place. I remember like doing this for analyzing the Las Vegas traffic, and a lot of most of the traffic is from people who don't live in Las Vegas. So if you want to get more um, traffic, it's this is hard to do, and but if you want to get more from outside of the area, you do more generic searches like Nashville or Las Vegas. But in Nashville, if somebody is like looking like homes for sale in Sylvan Park, that's probably somebody who lives in Nashville and they want to move to Sylvan Park. So we would do the micro targeting would be more for the kind of the locals, whereas the broader the even like Marietta is pretty like there's probably 1,000 homes for sale or at least 500 homes for sale in Marietta. It's huge. So that could be somebody from outside who just for some reason went to Marietta Square and got the bakery or whatever, and it's like, oh, I want to move to Marietta. So but anyway, so that's one of the things that you can that we keep in mind and all that.
All right. Did
Harry, is it
anybody
time?
have or anybody from the question list any? Oh, I did have something really quickly. Um, we got a comment about so how does ad budget impact your hyper local micro targeting if you're a sync client, right? I mean, we've had people that have written in and say, I want the hyper local micro targeting. Like if you're a sync client, you already have it.
Oh yeah.
My understanding is it's more driven really by your time with sync, which just gives us more time to optimize things and your market than it is your budget. Is that
Yeah, it is. If you have a really small budget, like $100 budget or something like that, we probably won't do it. But
because it
we
doesn't
probably
make
will. We probably
sense?
will. Well, yeah, just because it does make sense. But it's more of a time. Over time, we are continually adding ad groups to your accounts. I remember for that Charleston one, we did a big analysis of it, and it was like
Never heard of it.
after like they were with us for 10 years or something like that, and then at the end they had like prior to the transaction they had 250 ad groups even though they gave us 8 areas, but we continually drilled down, and it was one of those drill downs is what caused the ad to be the lead to be generated. So we went from Charleston, and there's lots of little nooks and crannies in Charleston, same as Nashville. There's lots of little neighborhoods in Nashville, and so over time we keep adding. So and then eventually one of them may generate the lead that becomes the big sale.
That's a
And
free guide
of
if you'd like to learn more about it.
There is a free guide.
Hey Dan, I just want to
informative.
add, like you can generate the leads all awesome as you guys do, but if we as agents don't make the phone calls the way we're supposed to,
That's exactly, yes, we are
Comes down
our
to
team,
activity.
although we're the glamour boys of the company, but it is really everybody else. It's the agents calling the the leads and all the automation that is built to make it easier to call the leads, but you got to call the leads.
Regardless,
This is
with all
Lance's
of that,
advice.
the agents are what make the difference in the work the agents do. And we're gaining more and more visibility into that, as we're tracking more of the
Yeah.
transactions and lead quality and that kind of stuff. There's just some people that convert everything, and it's because they're following best practices. And I think treating it like a business, um, like you talked about, Lance, of just systematizing how to do this versus hair on fire every day and burning out.
And there was this one question, as Dan said, like what was the very small, if you have a very small budget and everything, and I know I'm going to butcher the name and I apologize for it. Jagvir. You said you have a $250 budget in Brampton. Do you need to increase? And I like to look at this on percentage basis, right? And I don't know what your platform, type and cost and all are, but let's say you're spending $1,000 a month on the software and the platform and $250 a month on ads, right? Your invoice is $1,250. Okay. So if you increased by $250, your invoice goes up to $1,500, right? It goes up by about 20%. But your ads, your lead flow, the number of leads coming in goes up by 100% because your budget went from 250 to 500, right? So not knowing, like, to say, like, do I need to increase my budget? I don't know what your current campaign is. I don't know how many leads. There's a lot of questions and, again, back and forth that should happen on that. There's a conversation there that needs to happen to decide, like, what's best for you. How much do you need? How many agents do you have? All that kind of stuff. But most of the time, I'll say most of our clients probably should increase their budget just from those two ratios of how much are they spending on the tech versus how much are they spending on leads. They need more gas in the engine in order for the car to go faster, if that makes sense.
I think you put gas in a tank, but I was with you until that.
Okay, yeah. Just you pour it on top of the engine. I don't know cars.
Just pour it right on top of the
Not like
engine
Lance and his
and get her
Jeeps.
going, guys. You heard
Yeah.
James, okay?
the kind of going back to that, it's funny. Like I've got a couple buddies of mine that also brokers, run teams, but our markets are so different. So I've got one buddy that he's like, I want to own everybody's data in my entire market. But he's also in a smaller little market, so that makes sense. Like, could you imagine me trying to own everybody's data in the Nashville market? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it. So that would be overwhelming. So yeah, you got to kind of look at it. And I've always ran right around that 30 to 50 leads per month per agent once the engine's going. Like you get the engine going, you got to add a lot to it. But I always
Clean
like
the gasoline off of it.
Once you get the gas right there on top.
I always like to have about an extra 50 leads per agent coming in just to kind of keep things going are kind of the numbers that I've always ran in my business here in Nashville.
What idiot poured gasoline on this damn motor?
I just put my engine in a pool of gasoline, and I think that's how it works. Harry, we're obviously going to go a little over on time. Do we want to run through our give some
do we
away?
have someone that wants to do Win Dan's Money? Let me tell you what Win Dan's Money is. It is a 1 minute 7 question trivia contest against Dan Lott. The winner, if you win, gets $200 in ad spend for our individual listing ads promotion. So you can promote a listing on CINC's dime. And all you have to do, raise your hand, step forward, and then James will give you 7 questions. You'll do your dirtiest against them or your damnedest or whatever, D word. And then Dan will come back on and he will answer the same 7. The winner wins.
I lost last time. Before it was thought that I was unbeatable, but
We've
I
got
I have been beaten. So
He has been beaten.
so $200 could be yours in ad spends.
Yeah, so I saw a hand go up, but I'm not sure if it went down.
It was like a thumbs down.
I do not want to. And yeah, I was about to say, I know Margaret had a question that we all loved. Can I find the old webcast, the old
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm looking
These
at the other question.
Bonnie's
questions,
in.
I don't know if she's
Bonnie's
still here.
in. Here
Who
we
got?
go.
Love
these
it.
questions are on famous lances.
Oh,
We used to choose multiple categories. This time,
They're not real
in
estate
honor
questions.
of Lance Simpson, our category is Lance.
Bonnie.
Do not worry,
I think
Bonnie.
Bonnie's way to go.
There's not a lot of them.
All
It's a lot
right.
of fun.
Well,
Bonnie, that's a lot like a hand raise. We're gonna have a blast.
I do not know much on
Bonnie.
Lance. Nothing with
Oh,
crackers.
yeah. Okay, here we go.
Giannis. How do I unmute
So
you?
we're gonna.
All right.
I almost deleted you. All right, James, you want to tell people how it works while I figure out how to
So,
bring
like Harry was talking about, we have 60 seconds. There's 7 questions. We'll run through them quickly. The time starts when I finish the first question. I will ask everybody who is listening in, please don't put your answers as we're going through it the first time. Don't put the answers in the chat if you know it, because Dan's going to come back in and go through the same questions, and we don't want him to see those answers there in the chat. So fight that as best you can, that temptation. Don't put the answers in the chat. We've had people do that, and then we accused Dan of cheating, and he was offended. No need to wait for me to finish the question. As soon as you know the answer, you can jump in. Again, 60 seconds happens quick, I promise. So as soon as you know the answer, feel free to jump in with it. And then if you don't know the answer, you can say skip. Don't spend a lot of time trying to think about it and figure it out. Lightning doesn't strike very often. So if you don't know one of them, say skip. We'll jump to the next one. We'll come back if there's time, but don't wait to use your skips. There's no limit to them. Move quick. For sure. But it's fun. I
Giannis, can
promise
you
you.
hear
You're gonna know
us?
more.
Am I saying your name right?
Yanis.
Yanis?
Yanis.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you.
No worries.
All right. Where are you from?
I'm Denver.
All right. Very
Okay.
cool. I'm trying to get out to Irvine for a hockey tournament, and I just figured out that Denver is like 17 hours from Irvine, California. It doesn't look that far on the map.
It's a great drive. Trust
It does.
Good
I
stretch
think
of
it would be
road.
cool, but I forgot to do this too, Dan, and then I'm going to kick you out.
Win 10 money.
Can you hear that? I hope James can hear it, or he's go to a doctor.
I just dance every so often.
Yeah, just getting his wiggles out. All right. So,
There we go.
Yanis, thank you for joining us. We will give 7
I'm
questions.
still here, Harry.
I know you're still here, Dan. Sorry.
Let's
That
put
was
him
a
in
little, that was a
the
little aggressive. I apologize. Why don't you
midterm.
shut up, Dan?
Mid-year reviews will be here eventually. Harry.
Yeah.
Like, that's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
so I'm going to kick Dan out. James will give the 7 questions. I'll put 60 seconds on the clock. And then the timer does not start until James finishes the first question. All about lances. All right, Dan, you're going away.
He'll start the timer. He will give us a 30-second update so we know, and he'll give us a 10-second update when we're almost done. So, question number 1. At the age of 16, he began competing as a triathlete, and despite, we'll say, not feeling well, he won the Tour de France a record 7 consecutive times. Let's not worry about what happened after all that.
Armstrong.
Wielding a lance in the movie A Knight's Tale, Heath Ledger competed on horseback in this medieval sport.
Knight's Tale.
Portrayed by everyone from Richard Gere to John Cleese, this Knight of the Round Table was considered the greatest, bravest, and most skilled fighter.
Sir Lancelot.
Nailed it. This woman was King Arthur's wife, but her affair with Sir Lancelot ultimately caused the downfall of Camelot. Maybe we should have called her Yoko.
20 seconds.
Lance Reddick played the iconic Lieutenant Cedric Daniels on this HBO drama set in Baltimore that explored how the drug war compromises law enforcement. Oh, the
10
audio is
seconds.
breaking up. This multi-platinum boy band superstar is certified by both NASA and the Russian space programs as an astronaut and a cosmonaut. He's very in sync with his goals.
Lance Bass.
All right, that's time.
I was going to say, I was like, oh, do we have quite time for the last one?
All right, that was good job.
Well done.
All right, Yanni, stick around. I'm going to bring Dan back on, and we will see how he does. All right,
back.
Dan, you're back.
All right. How'd it go?
Went well.
Went well.
We're playing Yanis. She's from Denver.
Got your work cut out for you, Dan.
Rock Mountain.
She's
no,
looking
Rock
to extend this streak of losses for you.
Oh,
All right, Dan, you ready? I know you know the rules. You all set?
yes, I'm ready.
The category is Lance. Question 1. At the age of 16, he began competing as a triathlete, and despite not feeling very well, he won the Tour de France a record 7 consecutive
Lance
times.
Armstrong.
Wielding a lance in the movie A Knight's Tale, Heath Ledger competed on horseback in this medieval sport.
Joust.
Portrayed by everyone from Richard Gere to John Cleese, this Knight of the Round Table was considered the greatest, bravest, and most... This woman was King Arthur's wife, but her affair with Sir Lancelot ultimately caused the downfall of Camelot.
Guinevere.
Lance Reddick played the iconic Lieutenant Cedric Daniels on this HBO drama set in Baltimore that explored how the drug war...
The Wire.
What?
The Wire.
John Cleese plays Sir Lancelot in this brilliant 1975 comedy with 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. It also features
Monty Python's Holy Grail.
This multi-platinum boy band superstar is certified by both NASA and Russian space programs as an astronaut and cosmonaut. He's very in sync with his goal.
Pass.
That's the last question.
Lance.
Time.
Lance. I don't know.
Very close on that last one.
I should have known that. That seems right up my alley.
That was Lance Bass.
When you said pass, I thought you actually got it right.
I did too. I wrote a check down. Yeah, you should have. Yeah. All right. So Dan, I've got you with 6, and Yanis from Denver faded out a little bit, but I've got her at slightly less than 6 with 5.
Oh, all right.
I was about to say it.
So great job, Yanis. Thank you for coming on. Dan keeps his money, unfortunately.
Oh, I loved this tiebreaker question too. I was really hoping to get to use it. That was close.
But with that, it's time for us to play his stupid music. And thank everyone for joining us. Thank you, Lance.
That was
You
great.
were awesome, man.
Thank you.
Come see Lance and Matt live at CINC. That's in like 13 days, yeah?
Yeah, not next week, following week. CINCcommunity.com for all of our events that are coming up this year.
Are seats still available?
There are a few left for Atlanta, and then I don't know if we've really started pushing Chicago or what, but yeah, get on, come out. And I know people were asking for some like different templates. A lot of that stuff, we share a lot of our content at CINC University. So,
and I saw CINC the schedule has really been reworked, so it's a different kind of flow.
It is all about money making activities day one on how to get a profit. So
I just tried to fake make it rain and almost spilled an entire turvis of water on my computer. It would have been recorded on my Zoom for IT. I'd have been paying for a computer. So be sure to come next week because I might need money. I'm very clumsy. And thanks again. Come see Lance and Matt in Atlanta at CINC. Join us next month for Office Hours 16. And yeah, check out CINC Community, all the webinars, all the trainings. Follow us on social. If you like the show, tell your friends. And if you don't,
Don't.
Have a great day. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody. Appreciate the
guys.
time, Lance. Thanks for hanging out with us.
We'll see you guys.